So here we are. We are ready with our first. I think I'm live. So I came up with this idea the other day. I wanted to do a series that's going to get us through this dark moon phase and back to the new moon and eventually to the light. I think I've called it From the Dark to First Light or something like that. Really what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a chance to hop on here every day, be accountable, show up, and talk to you about the power of working with the moon. So where we are now on the sort of astrological spectrum is we are really just past the last quarter moon, which is the time to really start to let everything go. And it's an interesting thing that's going on right now. It can actually feel easier to let things go. Sometimes around this time of the lunar cycle, you just need someone to say to you, friend, kiddo, darling, whatever you want me to call you, you actually can let that go. Okay, now one of the reasons why it's a bit easier to let things go right now, well, there's a few reasons. One of them is that we've had so many kind of last chances this year with the major planetary retrogrades we've been having, actually last year 2024 and this year 2025. We had Pluto flipping backwards and forwards with Capricorn and Aquarius. Now we've had this year Uranus going from Taurus into Gemini and back into Taurus. We had Saturn and Neptune going from Pisces into Aries and back into Pisces. And it's like we've had all the chances. And at some point, I think on some level, we're all going to realize, yeah, okay, that was then, this is now. Like, I've had all these chances to sort this out. And here I am still, trying to sort something out, which I can't sort out. And so eventually it becomes the time to go, you know what? That was then, this is now. And I can actually let this go. So I am here today to be, if you need it, the person that's going to say we are now in the waning cycle of the moon. Okay, we're in the waning cycle of the moon. It's time to let it go, and you can actually let it go. And sometimes it is just about the decision to let it go. Let me just see if I can find something I wrote yesterday, which I should have looked up before I hopped on here, but let me just find it. I think I've got it actually. Let's have a look. Hang on. It was something about the fact that sometimes, we know internally that it's time to let something go before we actually do it. Okay. No, I can't find it. But basically, it's about the fact that sometimes we just need to let something go on the inside, and then we become ready to let it go on the outside. So it may well be that you have to make the decision to move on from whatever it is in 2025 that you just want to let go of. And it's in making that decision, even if you're not quite ready to do it emotionally, if intellectually you know that it's time for you to let it go, that's when you will start to make that decision. I can't help but think of the neuroscience that we've all been learning about this year, about the reticular activating system, which basically is when you make a decision, when you set an intention to do something like, okay, I am going to let it go. Then you actually start to create the neural pathways for releasing something. So let's talk about something that you might want to let go. And the example that's coming to mind for me is something I actually struggled with quite a few years ago. I'd had a big upset with a friend, and our friendship overall seemed to be over. And it was extremely hard for me. And so if you've maybe lost a friend this year and you're thinking, I really want to work this out, we actually did work it out for a while, and then somehow, even though we sort of came back together, we kind of did eventually drift apart again. And so using this as an example, if you have been trying to make up with this particular person and it's just not happening, eventually you have to just let it go. I was talking to a beautiful girlfriend of mine in Australia the other day, and she was saying that she's with her partner. Well, actually, they're married now, but they had been together like, I don't know, 20 years ago, and they were together for, say, 5 years, and then they split up. And it must have been 25 years ago, because he, for 20 years, waited for her. He said he always felt that their breakup was a mistake, and that he never could understand why they broke up, and it didn't make any sense to him, because as far as he was concerned, they were soulmates and they were meant to be together. I mean, to give you the full story, he actually ended up falling in love with someone else and marrying them and having 2 children. And then, as sometimes happens in marriages, that didn't really work out. And then he and my friend managed to get back in touch with each other. And lo and behold, 20 years later, they got back together, having lived in different countries in the meantime. And, are now married and hopefully having their happy ever after. And, I mean, you might listen to that and think, oh my God, that's so romantic. But to be honest, I heard it and I thought, yeah, it's very romantic, but imagine waiting 20 years. Imagine the pain of waiting for 20 years. Like, that is a long time. It's sort of like, I don't know, it reminds me of, a high romance movie of, reincarnation across the lifetimes, waiting for someone for lifetimes. And maybe you love the idea, or maybe you think, you know what, no, that makes me realize I'm not waiting around for 20 years. I'm actually going to just let go. So as we move through this period of the year, it really is time to let it go. Okay, so have a think about what you're releasing, why you're releasing it, and think about how your life is going to look when you finally release it. I'm back. And just for those of you who have my beautiful Moonology diary from this year, there was an exercise on page 240, which if you haven't done it yet, do it now, which is called the Goodbye to All That list. So here's your reminder to make a farewell list for the year, okay? It's a really good time if you have the diary to do that, because we are in the waning moon cycle. It's time to just let it all go. And just, if you don't know, I write a beautiful Moonology diary every single year. Always sells out. I'm trying to get the word. I don't know if you can see the word in silver there. It says Moonology 2026, and it has information, monthly overviews about the astrology every month. It has information about the new moon, where you can put your new moon intentions, which we'll be doing together in a few days once we get through this dark moon phase. It's got information about every full moon, about what you can do there. And yeah, it's a really beautiful, amazing product. And I think what I'll do is I'll actually tell you a bit more about it every day as we do this session. So I wanted to end up by drawing you a card, and I did find some really interesting cards that I hadn't looked at for a very long time. They're the old Doreen Virtue cards. We all loved Doreen Virtue back in the day. It's actually a Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine deck called Angel Answers, and they kind of jumped out at me the other day when I was clearing my office, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use these for a bit because I love the angels. And just in case you've just tuned in by chance, I'm actually going to be doing these lives every day at 11 a.m. I'll have to settle into it. I was a bit late today. I was 1 minute late, which really bugged me. I was at my desk by 11 a.m. But I'm going to do them every day as we move from the dark moon to the new moon. All right, so if this card is for you, with whatever it is that you know that you need to release, say, this card is for me. All right, or put it in the comments, this card is for me, or just write yes. And once you've done that, once you've committed to this card, I will tell you what it is. I'll just put on my glasses because I can't read anything without my bloody glasses these days. Excuse my language. Here we go. Oh, okay. So we're getting a big encouragement with what we're doing, and especially for my 7 days of from dark moon to first light. Wow, okay. Don't stop. Now let's read what the book says about that. Let's see what the book says about that. Hang on. All right, the don't stop card. Oh, you know what? I turned right to it. That's got to be an affirmation. All right. This is so funny. It literally contradicts everything I've just been saying. Oh my God. I'm going to have to rethink everything. Radley Valentine, Doreen Virtue. If you said this card is for you, then this card is for you. So let me just, before I read this, let me just think about how this works with the astrology. So we've got, so maybe what it is then is that it's not about giving up. Maybe it's like there are these oh my God. It's not the first time this has happened, actually. Okay. So whatever it is you're thinking that you need to release, know that you have just a little bit more time to get it right. Maybe that's what it is, because as I was saying, with all the planets that have been going backwards and forwards, and now we've got the last of the last, well, Pluto's now moved, but we've got Uranus in the sign of Taurus before it moves into Gemini. We've got Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Pisces before they move into Aries. And I'm going to say I stand corrected, because when you hear this card, you can't disagree with this. So maybe the message to you and the reason why you're watching this is, okay, don't give up. This is your last chance to get this sorted. Okay, basically the planets, it's the first 6 weeks of 2026 when Saturn and Neptune will move into Aries, and then a bit later Uranus will move to Gemini. Okay, so I'm going to reframe this whole 7 days on the light of this card, because you wait till you listen to it. And I mean, it jumped out of the deck and the book opened straight to it, so I can't, you know, I've got to go with that. Here we go. This is not the time to give up. Continue to move in the direction of your hopes, dreams, and plans. You're actually on the right path, and you should see progress as long as you stay the course. This is so not what I expected. It's very important you stand your ground and believe in yourself. Don't let others, including me, intimidate you into quitting. Just because someone else doesn't have your vision doesn't mean you shouldn't follow your heart. Well, honestly, that is the last thing I expected. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Is that like a little play of the gods that I got on here thinking, okay, I'm going to help people to let it all go, and we've got a card that says, actually, don't stop believing in your dreams? What do we think? Is it really an important message for all of us? I, for one, am slightly gobsmacked. Okay, well, back to the drawing board, guys. Don't give up on your dreams, because there's still a chance. All right, well, I'm going to end it there and go and do some meditation and contemplation to what this all means, if I can work out how to stop the video. There we go. I'll see you tomorrow at 11:11 a.m. London time.